Hi guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset mastery doctor and leverage for change. And today I want to come to you with another tip about relationships. And this is not going to specifically speak to relationships per se, because it can be used in any kind of a challenging situation where we find that we cannot move on from. We are stuck in that situation. We keep looking back into our past of this negative situation and we cannot move forward. And a lot of the comments I get from my clients are it's basically about the fact that they cannot move forward after a relationship, and they know it's toxic, they know it's not good for them, they know it's something that they should move on from, or it's even another thing. It could be a death of a spouse, which is going to be something that you have to grieve. Every relationship, every challenge, and especially when it's a relationship, whether it be a loss from death or a loss from the person leaving or the relationship breaking down, it is going to require that you mourn that loss. That's the first thing, guys. A lot of people, when they have problems, when they're going out with someone for a long time, they've come into certain things that they do all the time. You've gotten used to this person. It's going to take time to mourn that loss and move before you can move forward. Don't try moving forward, because a lot of people also, I've heard people say, go on and find somebody else, like from a breakdown in a relationship. No, you can't do that, because what happens is that when you go out and find somebody else, you're bringing all that baggage and all that stuff that you had from the other relationship you've not yet healed from into your new relationship. You need to take the time to just settle into yourself, cry, mourn that loss of that person, whether they're still alive or they're not, and take the time to get that out of your system. And it will never ever get fully out of your system, but you have to get to a place where you don't find that you're making decisions in a rush, because you feel that being alone, you're so uncomfortable being alone that you just want to rush into something else. And because the pain is so hard to bear, that you feel that you just need to get that, having somebody else in your life is going to help you to kind of dull that ache, that really aching pain that you have inside. It never works out, guys. Believe me, it never does. So the best thing for you to focus on yourself, heal yourself before you go looking to be in another relationship with someone else. The part that I really want to speak about today, though, what I want to address is really for those people who they're in a relationship and they have lost that relationship. They have separated, they have left the home, they have moved on from that partner, or the partner has moved on from them, and yet they know it was like a really toxic relationship. They never felt good in that relationship. They never felt fulfilled. They never felt loved. They never felt worthy of being, they felt as if they were just like there, just like invisible in that relationship. And yet they were even physically abused, or it could be mentally, emotionally, whatever it is, but they were abused. And yet they cannot move on. And yet they cannot move on from that relationship, even though they know it's wrong for them. So guys, I want to give you a few tips to help you move forward, not only from toxic relationships or relationships that you know is not good for you, but also from challenges in your life that you may be facing or have faced, and you're still stuck in that place and you cannot move forward. So the first thing you need to really what I'm going to speak about today is just how to handle life's setbacks. That's the topic of this this video I'm doing, and disappointments. So how to handle life's setbacks and disappointments. And the first thing you have to do is you have to really ask yourself some questions. A lot of people, when they are trying to move forward, instead of doing anything, they just sit back and think that things are just going to magically work out somehow. And that's kind of like giving up your power and your power to do, because as human beings we have that power to do things, right? So you have to do things, right? The one thing that we have as humans is that we can self-reflect. And so in these times when we have to really get to know the reason why we need to move on, we have to ask ourselves some questions. And one of the questions that we could start with is this: is this person, this situation, is it, or thing, is this thing good for me? And you're going to answer that. Is it good for you? More than likely, you want to move on from it because it's not good for you, right? And you want to ask yourself the other question: is this thing building me up, or is it tearing me down? And more than likely, because you want to move from it, or the person has moved on because they don't think you're important enough to stick around, then it's going to be somebody who has torn you down, or some situation that's torn you down. It could be drugs, it could be anything, any situation. It could be a really bad habit that you have, that you go out and you gamble, or you go out and you drink, or whatever it is, and you know it's not good for you. So is it building me up, or is it tearing me down? Is this situation making me happy? Because guys, at the end of the day, as human beings, the most important thing, everything we do, right, is to be happy. The end result is that we want to be happy. We go into relationships because we want to be happy. We go get a job at a certain place because we want to be happy. We want to have enough money to spend to do things that make us happy. It's really all about being happy. So at the end of the day, ask yourself, are you happy? If this person is making you more miserable than you would be on your own, of course, you better just be on your own. Ask yourself, are you happy? Because at the end of the day, as I said, happiness is really what it is all about. Now, ask yourself this question too: if I move on from this situation, what will happen if I move on from this situation? And kind of just think it out, guys, because a lot of times we don't think things out. And when we think things out, we will come up with some reasons that will help us to stay the course. So what will happen if I move on from this situation? You have to be also very honest with yourself. You're going to hurt. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. This is something that caused you pain, or something that made your life miserable. And even though you know it made your life miserable, you still like it, or you feel good doing it, or whatever it might be, even though it's making your life miserable as hell, and your life is not going in a good direction because you're involved with either this person or this thing or this situation, right? Ask yourself, how will I feel? And if it is that you will feel scared or afraid, accept it, admit it, sit in that space with it, right? Because it is a fact. You're going to feel all those emotions when you're doing something different than that you've done before, right? So understand that you're going to feel it, so that when you actually feel it, you don't jump and go, oh my God, it's so painful, I can't take it. You know you're going to feel it, so you kind of prepare yourself emotionally to go through that process, right? So ask yourself these questions and go through the process of what it will be, how you will feel, and what are the steps. The next thing you need to do is write, what are the steps I need to do, to go move forward from this situation. For example, if it's a relationship, or it's maybe if it's even a death. A lot of people have discovered when it's a loved one who passes, is that they stay in the home just the way it is. And I spoke to a gentleman the other day, and he said, Christine, the hardest thing is that being in the home is like everywhere you walk, everything you see, there is something, everything that's there's a memory attached to it. So, and there was another person whose wife passed not long before that, and he just moved. I mean, we were surprised at how fast he moved everything out of the house, meaning like, but then we now understand, because from this man, the other person now understands when he lost his wife, that the reason the other person did it was because everything in that house reminded him of his wife. And there was no way he could move forward with all that stuff just there, right? So what you have to do, guys, is what steps do you need to take? Maybe you just need to give away a lot of these things to charity. That these are the reminders that you have. Sit with it for a while, mourn, and when you're finished, you get rid of these things so you can move on. Some people have actually moved locations and gone into a different home. This is for now, whether it be for any kind of relationship. right? It could be a loss of somebody who through divorce. You may just want to move away from that location because there's so many memories attached to that location, so many things that you used to do in that area, and it's just very difficult for you to really live in that area anymore. It's like you need to start over. So it's the same thing with somebody who has passed, who is lost through death or lost through divorce or separation or any other kind of breakup. It's also, guys, good to move away if you're into stuff like that are not good for you, like drugs and alcohol and whatever it might be. The place that you're in, your friends are all there, and those friends that you have that you maybe do those things with, they're still there. So sometimes too, for that, even that situation, one of the first steps that you might need to do is to move away from those friends, because they are going to be the ones influencing you and keeping you stuck in that area. So you need to sometimes just get rid of the friends that are influencing you in a negative way, guys. I know it's not easy, but you need to do it for your preservation. And so those are the steps that you need to write down, guys, because when you do this, once you do this, your brain gets the message that you're moving forward. You see, when you just sit there and hope that things are going to go and you're going to feel better and you're going to move on automatically, it doesn't work, right? And I'm sure that you guys know that by now. So go ahead and write these steps down, and then you want to look now to the future and say, where do I want to be? What do I want my life to look like? Write these things out. And now you're going to use these things. You're going to use these things, the future vision of what you want to be and where you want to be, to now every day you focus on that future that you're. Don't focus on the past or the things that happened. Focus on that future. Focus on that future. And then you'll see that your life start turning around. Okay, guys? So this video is getting very long, and maybe, sometimes it's difficult to upload. So before I forget, please check out my book on Amazon. It's called Nuggets of Wisdom for Reaching Your Highest Potential. It's available in print, Audible, and Kindle version. And I want to say goodbye for now, and I'll catch you another time. Please like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel if you find this information that is something that you can use, and also maybe your friends can use as well. This is Christine, your relationship and mindset mastery doctor and leverage for change. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.